Hi, the SI meteorologist Paul Dorian here. Thursday, September 20th. Thought we'd take a quick look at the sun, what's going on with respect to sunspots. Here we are in the middle of solar cycle 24 that should be reaching a solar maximum sometime next year in the middle or latter part of 2013. We'll also take a quick look at what's going on with respect to oceanic cycles here on Earth over the next couple of minutes. First of all, there are a couple of sunspots seen here that are about to rotate onto the backside of the sun. The sunspots are rotating in this fashion. All in all, generally a quiet period on the sun, despite the fact that we should be approaching a maximum within the year. There is an interesting looking large sunspot here now. We'll have to watch this over the next several days. This is now rotating towards the middle part of the sun, and so it will be directly facing the Earth within 7 to 10 days or so, and it's a rather large sunspot, so we'll continue to monitor that situation. Again, all in all, the sun has been relatively quiet. Doesn't mean there cannot be some large solar storms, but probably means there will be far fewer solar storms than otherwise would occur in a more active, typical solar cycle at this stage. So we'll continue to monitor this particular large sunspot that is now rotating towards the middle part of the sun. Well, as far as the sea surface temperature anomalies here on Earth are concerned, and these are all important oceanic cycles that we'll be talking about here over the next couple of minutes. First of all, the west coast of South America right here, seen right here, and we can see some warmer than normal temperatures indicated here by the yellows and oranges. And this is the beginnings of an El Nino here in the tropical part of the Pacific that extend all the way out here along the equator. This particular line right here represents 0 degrees or the equator, and 0 degree latitude. And again, there's a developing El Nino. We've had a transition from La Nina over the past couple of winters to a weak El Nino, and it looks like this El Nino will continue in a weak state right up until the winter of 2012-2013, so we'll continue to monitor that. That, of course, can play a pivotal role in the wintertime weather here in the mid-Atlantic region of the United States. Meanwhile, farther to the north, there continues to be below normal temperatures, kind of a horseshoe-shaped pattern here in the northern Pacific. This is associated with an index we follow called the PDO, or Pacific Decadal Oscillation. It's kind of slipped into a cold phase in the last few years, and it continues that way. This is a rather typical signature of a negative PDO with kind of a horseshoe shape below normal temperatures off the west coast of the U.S. with some warmer than normal temperatures kind of in the middle part of that. That too plays, of course, a crucial role in the United States weather, so we'll continue to monitor that. So more of a short-term cycle here with an El Nino developing. I don't expect a strong El Nino or a long-lasting El Nino, given the fact that we are in a negative PDO, typically in a cold phase of the northern Pacific. The El Ninos are less frequent and not quite as strong as they would be in a warm PDO phase. Meanwhile, out over the Atlantic, at least the northern half of the Atlantic, north of the equator, is generally above normal. And of course, we're still in tropical season here, Atlantic tropical season, although we are now going kind of sliding down the slope on the other side of the climatological peak, which is typically around the middle part of September. In the latter stages of a tropical season here in the Atlantic, we typically get less waves coming off of Africa here and more waves developing closer to home, like in the Gulf of Mexico or the Caribbean or just off the East Coast. So we'll monitor this situation over the next several weeks. Rather quiet right now. There is one tropical system way out in the Atlantic, Nadine, that has no plans for the U.S. mainland right now, but we'll monitor, especially for perhaps some that could form closer to home as we move through the month of September into October. So we'll monitor that over the Gulf of Mexico, near the East Coast, or in the Caribbean over the next several weeks. So that's it for now. We'll monitor that large sunspot that is now moving into view on the sun, and continue to monitor the oceanic cycles here at the SIweather.com. I'm the SI meteorologist, Paul Dorian.